Hey friends, Kai here. So, I'm kinda new to the whole YouTube thing, and I had a much more interesting and just objectively better idea for my first major project, but considering how long it's gonna take to make this thing, and the fact that I've been promoting my YouTube lately on my Twitch channel, I figured I'm better off getting something out here rather than just leaving my channel drier than the Sahara Desert in the middle of the summer. Not only that, but last week there was a very particular announcement that caught my eye, and as a hardcore fan of the Legend of Zelda series, I feel like I am obligated to say my piece regarding the subject at hand. Now, as someone who champions positivity here, I'm gonna start this off with something nice. I don't hate Illumination as a studio. They've made some great films throughout their short lifespan, like Despicable Me, and Despicable Me 2, and Secret Life of Pets, and Sing? At least parts of it? And... okay, yeah, I can't sugarcoat it anymore. I really don't like Illumination that much. They're the epitome of an animation studio whose films are just made for the purpose of keeping a kid distracted for an hour and a half. But, you know what I do like? I like the Super Mario Bros. Movie that they released this year. In fact, I don't just like it, I love it! Especially after the disaster that was the live-action Super Mario Bros. Movie from 1993. Gosh, it was just so nice to see the series celebrated and adapted for mainstream film audiences while also respecting the source material. Sure, it wasn't perfect, and critics were mixed about it. But you can tell that more love and effort was put into this film than a majority of other Illumination films. And don't you try to sit there and say you weren't singing Peaches a million times after you came out of the theater.
Peaches, 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 peaches. Oh, yeah. Oh.
Please nominate that song for an Oscar! Anyway, the fact that I enjoyed this movie wasn't a big surprise. But the big surprise was that I loved a film that came from Illumination. Even Despicable Me, which is easily their best film, is a film I just like. And that's about it. I was hesitant when it was announced Illumination was making the Mario movie, and I'm so grateful they proved me wrong. So congrats Illumination, you've earned my respect. To add even further on to that, Super Mario Bros. Is the second highest grossing animated film of all time. This movie beat Frozen, a goofy kids film about these two dopey idiot plumbers that started off looking like this, beat out this. Naturally, with Mario being such a success, it's only natural that Nintendo take their next step in Hollywood by adapting their second headliner franchise, that being The Legend of Zelda. The idea of Zelda being adapted into the media of film or television is nothing new. It was adapted into a cartoon in the late 80s, various fan-made films have been developed and released on YouTube during the late 2000s and 2010s, and Netflix was supposed to be developing a live-action series back in 2015. I was super hyped for that! But, much like how Netflix is trying to ruin our fun now, they had to go fucking up and got the Zelda series cancelled. How? Well, remember that announcement about them even making the Zelda series? Yeah, we weren't supposed to know about that. Some idiot thought they were slick, leaked that information, Nintendo freaked out, and pulled the plug on the whole thing. You see what happens, leakers? This is why you don't leak shit! Anyway, the Netflix series got cancelled, but with Super Mario Bros. Being such a success, Nintendo seems very much on board with adapting Zelda into a film now. Oh my gosh, this is amazing! Zelda is finally gonna get its chance in the Hollywood spotlight! What could go wrong? Why? Just why, Nintendo? Of all the animated studios you could have hired for Zelda, why would you hire Illumination? And I know there's a bunch of you out there who are gonna say, hey, Illumination did such a great job with Mario. Why the heck are you freaking out over this? And you'd be correct. Illumination did a great job with Mario. That is, they did a great job with Mario. But if you put Mario and Zelda side by side, then you'll see that these two franchises are radically different from one another in just about every way. Mario doesn't have a big focus on story and world building. Zelda tells deep and meaningful stories and contains so much lore and world building within each entry. The art style and direction of Mario is bright and colorful with a very cartoony aesthetic with its character designs. Zelda's art design varies from a more lighter direction with games like The Wind Waker to dark, gritty, and moody like Twilight Princess. Which brings us to the biggest difference between Mario and Zelda, and that is their target audiences. Mario, as a series, is targeted towards children. Sure, adults love Mario, but that doesn't mean adults are the audience demographic. Mario games are generally easy to pick up and play, with a challenge here and there, with its brightly colored graphics making these games easy to win over kids of varying age groups. Zelda, while being a series that young kids can play, is one where full appreciation comes mostly from older kids, as well as teens and adults. The stories are deeper, the gameplay is more complex, and the tone isn't always happy and cheerful. And sure, Zelda games are known to have a lot of charm and comedy, with Skyward Sword being a shining example of this. But at its core, Zelda is a series of epics where a young Hylian is thrust into a dangerous life-changing adventure, whether it's because of destiny or for personal reasons. And the dramatic and more serious moments reflect this. In fact, in many cases, it seems like Link has lost and the enemy has won. A good example of this is Ocarina of Time. Ganondorf gets the Triforce, and the consequences are reflected in the Hyrule that Link ends up in after he wakens from his 7-year slumber. It's only once he finally reaches the proper age that Link is finally able to fully awaken as the hero of time, and the one who bears the Triforce of Courage. For the majority of Link's adventures, the situation is dire in his world. And while there will always be moments where he can laugh with those he meets on his adventure, at the end of the day, the world is in great danger, and he's the only one who can save them. And it's for this reason that I don't think Illumination is a good choice of a studio to tackle this series for a film adaptation. Sure, Illumination did a great job with Mario, but the reason why they did is because Mario's world and its characters fit with Illumination's brand of IPs. Zelda does not. Even its more cartoony games don't fit with Illumination, because even with a brighter art style, the stories that they tell are ones that I don't feel like the studio is fit to tackle. Granted, Illumination is still a rather young studio compared to others, and it's very possible that they will successfully make a good Zelda movie that has a lot of heart and respects the source material. However, when you consider the amount of crap the studio has released in the last decade, I think those of us who are paranoid about how the Zelda movie is going to turn out are very justified with our opinions. Because think about it, if they're going to adapt Zelda into a movie, they're going to have to really step out of their comfort zone with this one. I loved the Mario movie, but there's no doubt that it was a movie made for kids. And if they approach Zelda with the same direction that they did with Mario, yeah, this movie's kind of doomed, and we're going to end up with something like this.
Nice job, hero!
Hey! Excuse me, princess!
Update time! YouTubers, don't you just love it when this happens? So, apparently, literally the day after I recorded this, there was an update from the CEO of Illumination, Chris Meledandri. He denies that the studio is making a Zelda movie, and has basically debunked all the rumors that have been circulating this past week. So, for anyone who was with me on being paranoid about this, we can rest easy. With Meledandri being on the board of directors at Nintendo, means they're going to continue their partnership with the company, and it looks like their next project is a sequel to the Super Mario Bros. Movie, with no Zelda in sight. So, yeah, we were able to end this on a positive note. Actually, no, screw it. This is the internet and YouTube. I know Illumination's CEO said they weren't working on a Zelda movie, but that doesn't mean it's never going to happen. Illumination could very well see the potential box office numbers that Zelda could bring in for them and decide to strike a deal with Nintendo to make the movie after all. I'm here to speak my mind, and here is what my mind thinks about that possibility.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
This is a dumb, stupid idea, and Illumination, I swear if you make a Zelda movie and f it up, I'm gonna fuck. Thank you guys so much for coming to my TED Talk, watching my video. And congratulations for watching a video that was most likely a waste of your time because of that update article. But if you guys enjoyed what you watched, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I have multiple projects related to Zelda in the works, and I hope to share these with you guys later down the road. I also stream on Twitch 3 days a week, so if you'd like to see me attempt some crazy Pokemon challenges, as well as play a ton of Kingdom Hearts and Zelda, feel free to drop a follow to know when I go live each week.